Alright guys, look, I've just got off the phone with UEFA and they've closed the transfer window early. So you're all just going to be happy staying here. Yeah. Why? It was Brexit, mate. Bloody English. No offense, Deutsch.
Synker samman till segerstroppen, Maltan Grindavik. Och jag vet, vid vattnet ger idag.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on The Impossible Dream. It is Season 7, Episode 4 today. We're going to be facing Puskas Academy in the Champions League. Are we second round qualifying, I think, now? And, well, that's obviously a big tie. We need to try and win just to, make sure we're going to get into, at a minimum, the Europa League group stage. And, well, the best news I can bring you is this. There is no transfer activity. Not that I don't want to bring players in, just registration rules. We're kind of in a one-in, one-out kind of policy. But the issue that we have is we're coming up to that really, really crucial stage of the season where not only are we trying to qualify for the Champions League, our transfer window is about to close at the end of July. We're at the 25th of July right now. The European window is obviously open till the end of August, start of September. So we've got a month coming up where there's literally nothing we can do. If someone wants to come in and trigger, say, Bakali or Antonio's minimum release fee, obviously, we have to accept it. They will leave, and we don't have the ability to bring anybody in. So, yeah, there's a big part of me that's tempted to just try and loan players in just in case, but then we won't be able to register them, and they'll end up probably leaving. But maybe we could register. I don't know what to do. It's just that time of the year that I just poop myself a little bit. Anyway, there are some games to catch you up on since last episode. The first of those was the second leg against the Albanian champions. The tie was dead. We won 8-0 at home. Let's see what happened in Albania. Axe gave us the lead. Ormarkson found Hal Dawson unmarked for our second. Hal Dawson got our third on the night. Before Capiello scrambled home our fourth. And Adel Steinson rattled in a memorable first Grindavik goal. So yeah, a little bit easy this one, wasn't it? Absolutely destroyed them again. But at the end of this game, we more or less had a team of academy players plus Capiello on the field, to be honest. And the only reason he was on the field is because I took off Ormarkson and Turbison to rest them for the league. So yeah, it was very, very good. Now, the goal scored at the end there by Adel Steinson, his first for the club. This is him. He is a youngster that's coming through. Now, the issue with him is the casual personality. But there's a little bit to like about him. Again, he's one of these guys, even at 17, I don't think we're quite developing him for us. We're in all likelihood developing him for somebody else, hopefully in Iceland. But yeah, if he can score goals like that, then maybe he will have a future with us as well. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was the goal scorer for the last one. Not a bad way to get your first goal in the Champions League, is it? All right, next up, it was against Grotta in the league. The team, of course, that beat the kids in the cup. Let's see if we could extract a little bit of revenge for that. Turpinson picked out Dyche's run to give us the lead. But Grotta were level at half-time. Hollow cross for Dyche to restore our lead. Before a poor back pass allowed Dyche to complete his hat-trick. So we dominated them, as you would hope and expect us to do. They did go down to 10 men just before half-time, which maybe helped it. It was 1-1 at the time. But to be honest, we were the better team throughout. The only really chance they had was that penalty. So yeah, it was a good performance from us and a good solid 3 points with what was more or less a second string 11 out. Dyche, of course, with a hat-trick. He only seems to score hat-tricks, doesn't he? And of course, when we look at the league table, 10 points is the advantage. No one anywhere near us has a game in hand. So the league is looking as though it is coming back to Grindavik for is it a fifth or fifth time? Breedeblink on a little bit of a side note here. But Breedeblink won a European tie. They knocked out the Macedonians, Vardar Skopje. Yeah, so there we go. We have another team in Europe progressing. Now, unfortunately for us and for the league, the next tie is against Hibs. Now, Scottish teams have a history of losing to maybe teams they shouldn't lose to in Europe. I'd be surprised, to be honest, if Hibs can lose to Breedeblink, but we can always hope, can't we? We can always hope. So yeah, but that's a little bit of good news. Somebody else, at least, is winning a tie in Europe. And speaking of winning ties in Europe, we are away from home in the first leg against the Puskas Academy, and this is what we are doing and expecting. We're expecting a 4-2-3-1 formation from them. And the team that we are sending out, it's Andreasen in goal. It is Depe, Bergson, Skalukvadze, and Ostadi as the back four. Antonio, Capiello, and Bakali in midfield. Kebe and Borges as the wide players. Gadini goes up top. And, well, we've been resting these players for this game. Let's hope they can go out there and do a job. We can see Skalukvadze and Bakali are still unhappy, so we'll have to keep an eye on them. But crucially, perhaps, Bakali is no longer wanted by anybody. So hopefully he's going to get over his issue sooner rather than later. All right, so we can see the team sheets here. Anthony Taylor with an English referee. He would have loved the Brexit joke, wouldn't he? So there we go. Hopefully you didn't hear that. All right, what do we say to this? Put on a worthy display or just relax? Let's go with what Litzen is saying. Did he play with any of these players? Maybe he didn't play with any of these players anymore. Who's been around? He would have played with Capiello, wouldn't he? So he's and maybe Andreasen as well. And here we go. Away from home, of course, this time. So unlikely we'll get the 8-0 we had last time. But we just if we have a lead going back home, that I think is the main thing here, isn't it? Oh, it's a good-looking team. I really, really hope we can hang on to everybody. I don't really understand, and maybe it's to do with the end of the season, approaching in Iceland. But I don't understand why they don't have the window closed at the same time as it does in the rest of Europe. Even if it didn't open, if you only want to have a month window, maybe open it, at the start of August, so you have sort of August to do transfers, and you have a chance at least to replace players that might go elsewhere. But then there's probably the other issue that in real life, how many players are leaving Iceland to go elsewhere? So that might be maybe the reason why. But if you do know why the window doesn't close at the same time as the rest of Europe, let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to know why. But I can only imagine it's the end of the season and they don't want transfers happening sort of with a couple of games to go, because technically they could sign each other's players, couldn't they? And Gadini, oh, it's just wide. Goalkeeper, was it the goalkeeper that got a hand to it, or was it the defender getting it blocked? Anyway, Capiello now with the corner. Goes towards the back post, but it is claimed well by the goalkeeper, has to be said. And here come the Puskas Academy. Ostadi gets a lunge in, but nothing more. It's back to the edge of the area, and we are 1-0 down. It was a good finish. But you've got to say that Ostadi needed to do a little bit better there, didn't he? He lunged in, didn't get the ball, left his man free. Antonio's done his best to come across, hasn't he? But couldn't get there in time. So Skalukvadze's done his best. But yeah, Ostadi just needed to do better there. Just stay on your feet, mate. You didn't need to dive in. All right, Kebe tracks back and wins the ball nicely for us. Bakali gets it wide for Ostadi, who owes us now. Skalukvadze doing a little shimmy there on the ball. Bakali, oh, what a pass that is for Borges. Can Borges find... no, he goes himself. And puts it across the face of goal. I mean, we've seen enough here to suggest that we can break them down, but we are 1-0 down here early on. Was that another pass? No, it was Antonio. Kebe fights off a defender. Kebe cross there for Borges. Can Borges find Bakali in the middle? He can. Bakali off the post. Oh, is it not going to be our day? Kebe now over a free kick. Good ball in. Gadini straight into the goalkeeper's hands. And is that the highlight? Maybe not. Goes forward. I'm not sure who won that, but the Hungarians have it again. Borges slides in, wins the ball once. We've been done in behind here, and it is 2-0. Okay, well, we're getting done on the break here, aren't we? Which is maybe a slight problem. All right, do we step up, but maybe just drop the line a little bit to try and stop the counter-attacks, I wonder. And I wonder if we try and trap them inside as well. Because both their goals have sort of come from a wide area, haven't they? And we might be finding ourselves in a little bit of trouble here. Bergson just got beaten in behind. Antonio is there or thereabouts again, working hard, doing his best, but yeah. Let's try a focus. There's a few anxious players, which is never good. Sulukvadze cuts that out. We go back to Andreasen. Back to Sulukvadze. Gets it wide for Depe. Borges. Borges does well. Beats one. Borges cuts back in. Antonio now on the ball. Tapiello. Bakali to Borges. Borges. Oh, it's a nice little ball for Depe to Gadini. Oh, Gadini, you've got to finish that, man. We're nervous and anxious, aren't we? You can tell in the performance we're not putting chances away. Let's give it a no pressure, perhaps. Gadini over a free kick now. Can he get himself back on form with this one? It's good. It's very good. And Gadini gives us a goal back. His 26th of the season. And we needed that, didn't we? The next goal in this game was huge. And Gadini has once again... Oh, he takes these free kicks out of the top drawer. Nowhere else, does he? Wonderful stuff from Gadini. The no pressure shout. How can you feel pressurized by a no pressure shout? It's the whole left side of the team too. Here we go again with Bakali. He's pulling the strings out there for us. Oh, it's a cracking ball for Kibe. Kibe. Oh, it's off the post, off the crossbar. It's hit everything but the back of the net. And it was almost level at half time. But 2-1. Given that the second leg is at home, would not be terrible. We've absolutely smashed them in terms of XG. We're just not quite there yet. Okay, so let's say unlucky. Because really, we've dominated possession. We've had the better chances. We've just been done on the break twice. So, all things being equal, if we play like that in the second half, then we should at least come away with a draw here. Not much is happening yet, though. Depe is looking nervous. Now, is he one of these guys that has sort of snuck under the radar of not enjoying the big games? Bakali is looking anxious. Kibe on the right is not playing well. So we'll take him off. We have Cisse. We can bring him on. Anybody else? Astadi's not playing particularly well. I don't like Matheson because he's not good enough in the air. So I don't think I'm going to bring him on. Let us try raising up the tempo and playing like that. We've got a free kick. Bakali over it towards the back post. It's away. And we're not going to get done on the break again here, are we? Come on, boys. Don't let them. Don't let them. Capiello does really, really well holding them up. Come on. Can we win that? Not quite. Bergson putting good pressure on again. And there's the ball over the top. Astadi, keep him out there, mate. Keep him out there. Edge of the area. Oh, Bergson does brilliantly. And Gadini does well. Here we go. Borges. He's quick. Can he get down the outside of his man? Oh, it's a red card, ref. It is a red card. We're going to have 10 minutes against 10 men. Come on, boys. Let's fire up. Let's demand more. And it's just not quite happening, is it? Sulukvadze wins the ball there for us. Gadini gets it wide for Borges. Can he get a crossing now? It's a good one for Bakali. There's a penalty. And we're going to have a chance to draw level. Is it Astadi coming across to take it? I've never seen him take a penalty before. No idea if he can take one. He's not playing well. He's on a booking. And he has himself a first goal for the club as well. Preben Astadi. What a time to step up in the 90th minute. And send us back to Iceland level. And we needed that, didn't we? Against the 10 men as well. We needed to make sure that we were making that count. And we've come back for a kickoff highlight in stoppage time. Is there going to be a winner of this game? Can we come back from 2-0 down and take a lead back with us? Sulukvadze doing a decent job. Bergson heads it out. Sulukvadze keeps it in for us. And we are able to build from the back. Here we go. Bakali looking for Gadini. Gadini's in. Can he do it? Gadini's in. Gadini's in! And Gadini scores! Was it ever in doubt? A 27th of the season. And from 2-0 down, we will be taking a lead with us to Iceland. It is 3-2 now to Grindavik. Bakali pulling the strings in there again. Bakali to Gadini. That could be a very, very fruitful partnership for us. And there's still a couple of minutes to go here. Is there any chance of another goal? No, it doesn't look like there is. We don't need it. We've won in Hungary. As long as we don't lose at home now, we are going to find ourselves in the next round of Champions League qualifying. So there we go, Grindavik come from behind to win. Gadini with another double in Europe. I mean, maybe weaker opposition this time, but still, you've got to score them, don't you? And yeah, well, that is excellent news, guys. Second leg is still alive. We'll be back momentarily for that. We have breaking news this deadline day out of Grindavik as Icelandic football has its first £1 million player as Aussie villain splashes 1.7 million on a right back. Now for more, we cross live to Chaz Hogan. Yeah, look, mate, thanks. I'd love to say that I knew what Villain was doing with this one, but that sort of money on a right back, there's no Aussie logic there, mate. This is just crazier than a dingo in a daycare centre. Okay, welcome back, and the transfer deadline has passed, and we had money burning a hole in my pocket. I couldn't help myself, so we have signed one player permanently. We've actually signed another guy on loan as well, but this is the permanent signing, Elias Nikolai Kidland, a 19-year-old even Norwegian fullback. We signed him from Lyon, I think it was, for obviously fairly big money. There's obviously more to come as well there with 50 appearances, and if we make the Champions League semi-finals, that's a little ways off though. I wouldn't worry too much about that. But let's have a look and see what we've got here. 10.5 grand a week. It's a big money contract as well. I'm hopeful though, you can see the scouts really liked him. I'm hopeful that this guy is going to be around for a long time. This will mean the end for Matheson, whose contract was up at the end of this season anyway. He's fairly well-rounded physically, which is fine for a fullback. He's got a decent work rate. He can tackle, good technique. He can pass. He can play in midfield as well, but that's not really where I'm looking to use him. Crossing, dribbling is there. I think he's going to be very solid. Good anticipation and decision-making, concentration, which is all good for a defender as well. Like I say, I'm optimistic that he's going to do well for us. If we look at his career to date, he has been playing in France with Lyon. He's played a couple of games in Ligue 1. Mostly, though, he's been playing in their B team. Before that, he was in Norway, and as you would expect, was doing fairly well there. So I think he's going to do well. Well, obviously, time will tell how much he develops. And the other guy that we've signed here is this guy, Davaldo Jinga, on loan from PSV. He's only on a 4 grand a week, so it's an absolute deal on that front as well. It says he's going to be a regular starter. I'm not going to... I may have read in the league squad anyway, but he's more here to be back up, to be honest, for everybody. It's just a little bit of cover for us. Let's have a look at him. He is a very solid striker, a good penalty taker, so if we end up finding ourselves in a shootout, he's going to be a good player to have on our side. Decent finishing, good heading as well, so good all-round striker. Off the ball movement, composure, anticipation is all fairly good. He's 21. He's not completely unattainable in terms of a transfer fee and wages, so if he is good for us, then there is a chance for us to keep him here permanently. His career to date, he has been playing a little bit in the Eredivisie. He scored goals in the Eredivisie last season. I think that's going to be because they've switched over seasons, haven't they? Yeah, so he has played there, mostly in the second tier of Dutch football, but still 18, 16 goals in that division is going to bode well, I think, coming to play for us. But obviously, we're looking for him more to be a little bit of backup and cover for Gadini in Europe. So that is what has happened. We are looking to get, as I said, Matheson out, but that hasn't happened as of yet. There is one game, of course, to catch you up on in between these two ties. That was against KR in the league. So let's see how that went. Turpinson found Cisse in space to give us the lead. Dice cross for Thomason to get our second. Before Allmarkson was left at the edge of the area to score a stunning third. So a really good performance from us this one. It wasn't too much in terms of goal chances. They had next to nothing. We had a couple. We scored our 3 on target. Yeah, I was quite pleased with it though. We looked very assured. Cisse actually played really well in this one. Good work rate from him, tracking back to win balls. Thomason got a nice goal, although it looked like a bit of a scuffed finish, and the strike from Ulmarkson, absolutely stunning. So that is obviously another good one in the league. We're still 10 points clear, but we are all about Europe now and making sure we see this through. We take a lead home with us, and let's see what we're expecting from the Puskas Academy. Expecting the same again, the 4-2-3-1. In terms of the team we're sending out, it is Andreasen in goal, Depe, Bergson, Selukvadze, and Astadi as the back 4. Antonio, Capiello, and Bacali in midfield, Kebe, Borges, and Gadini. It's the same team as the first leg. Hopefully we get a similar result. Okay, so we can see the team sheets there. I don't think they've signed anybody new since the first. They couldn't have registered them anyway because we can't register our new guys. Well, we've got to say, yeah, we're starting from scratch here. Don't get complacent. We've just got to not lose. Now, having won last time 8-0 at home, you'd like to think we could do that. And here we go. So this is going to be interesting. Let me know what you think of the new signings. It is a big fee for a right back, but the scout said there's a lot of room for development for him. And we don't have any young right backs really in the academy to speak of. So I thought it was maybe worth splashing the cash on somebody who wanted to join us and yeah, was available. So yeah, we'll see, won't we? Time will tell how that works out for us. And yeah, the loan signing, it's just a bit of cover as Roofwatch returns for another episode. And yeah, we just need to make sure we're seeing this through, don't we? We haven't had any bids come in for anybody. I mean, we've had bids come in for Matheson, which is absolutely fine. I think it was Danish Silkeborg. I think it was a Danish club anyway that came in for him. And just over the top from Gadini. Yeah, but given that his contract is up at the end of this year, I'm happy to sell him now, and we've got the replacement in already. So I think I've actually taken him out of the league squad as well. He'll still be registered in Europe, but obviously if he leaves, he won't be registered for us anymore. And I might even just take him out because of Bakali tracking back. I love his work rate so much. I think even if he wasn't Australian, I might even like him. Here we go now with Kebe. He's got space and he's got pace with him as well. Can he get down the outside? The defender's doing a decent job. He cuts back though, and does eventually lose out to some very good defending. Oh, but he's read that like a book. As Depe, it's a loose pass. It's Gadini. He's at the post. The rebound comes back to him, but he's offside. And he did look offside, to be fair, as well. Let's just keep praising. We've got some nervous players, which is never ideal, but a bit of praise fixes that. Yeah, we've just got to hope now that we don't lose Bakali and Antonio. It's just one of those that... obviously, I couldn't sign too many players, and there was limited options. I mean, the thing with Antonio is that he's so good at passing the ball, 16 passing and 17 passing, 16 vision, that it's really difficult to find somebody that's going to do a similar thing for us. As Suluk Vadzi is looking anxious, which isn't ideal for our ball-playing centre-back. Hopefully, a bit of praise to kick off the second half will fix him. No, he's still anxious. Okay, well, that gives me a decision to make, doesn't it? We do have Axe on the bench, who is a proven defender for us. And I have a bad feeling that... Oh, Antonio wins it back nicely. The mentality at the back is not great because Astadi on a booking is looking a little nervous as well. Now, he will become second choice to the new boy, Kidland. Here we go now, Kebe getting forward. Back for Astadi. Cross comes in. It's towards Gadini. Oh, I thought that was in. How has that stayed out? And is there just a thought that this is not quite going the way we want it to? Capiello, we need this goal to pull two clear, and that is wide from Gadini as well. And you get the feeling if we can get that first goal on the night, that it's going to go okay for us here. But we'll give them some praise. They've changed the way they're playing. We're going to have to change the marking assignments. The other thing we're going to change, given that they've got a lot of wide players, we'll try to exploit the middle and then look for the overlaps. We did drop the line. We sort of did everything that we were doing when we changed things in the first leg. We started like that for this one. But, yeah, I mean, they've gone very defensive for a team that needs to score a goal. But, well, yeah, let's hope we can see this through. There's a lot of bookings out there. We're almost certainly going to have suspensions for this next round if we get through. Bakali's done well. Bakali for Gadini. Gadini's in. Gadini! Oh, he scored from an impossible angle. Number 28, and that'll be that. In the 86th minute, we go 1-0 up on the night. 4-2 on aggregate. And... well, the Puskas Academy has given us a really, really tough tie here, haven't they? But Bakali to Gadini, yet again, is proving the difference. And I tell you what, if I can get Bakali to negotiate a contract with me, he can have as much money as he wants, within reason. Up to 10.5 grand a week. That's all we can pay you, mate. That's the max. Oh, Gadini's won it back. Can we get a second one now? Gadini. Oh, it's a good block from the defender. We'll give them a little bit of praise here. And yeah, like I say, they've made us work for it, but the late Gadini goal is going to be enough. We will be going on to the third qualifying round, and that result guarantees us at least the group stage, doesn't it? Because even if we lose out from now, we'd still find ourselves in the conference group stage. And you've got to say, it would be interesting to see how this team would get on in the Europa Conference League. We might go quite deep in that competition, but of course we do want the money for the Champions League. You're up against Dunjatska Strada. I will confess I have no idea where they're from. They are Slovakian. So that's a team we should be hoping to win then, isn't it? If we've beaten Hungarian opposition, we should be able to beat Slovakian opposition. Bakali, once again, an absolute star. And yeah, well, that is all looking very good. What have I clicked on there? Not what I wanted to. So we've won in the second round, fixture rearrangements, which is all absolutely fine. And it looks as though we are coming straight back. There will be no games in between, so that keeps everybody nicely rested. We'll get a look at the new boys in the next game, and we'll let me know what you think. We're away from home in the first leg again. If we can, I think like today, if we can be in it coming home, I think we're a good home side. So let's hope that works out. Let me know what you think of the signings, and I will see you next time. Take care.